Not every quarterback chooses to use their receivers as an excuse for not playing well. Some just choose to level up no matter who's on the field. Now, I think it's a crime that we're only hearing about Deshaun Watson now because he wants to be traded. He's outplayed all but one quarterback this season, and we heard about everybody else. Whether they be in a new situation, whether they be doing really good for the situation that they were in from last year, whatever. We didn't hear about Deshaun Jackson until he asked to be traded. Now, if you look at his numbers compared to Aaron Rodgers' numbers, who is hands down the MVP this season. Listen, if Houston would have made the playoffs, it would have been a crime to not break that trophy in half and give it to him and Aaron Rodgers. Our soon-to-be MVP Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson stats were so similar, it is confusing to me as how one could go 13-3 and the other go 4-12. That is almost a complete flip of the record. Their stats from this season: Deshaun Watson, 70.2% completion percentage, a little over 4,800 yards, highest in the league, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with a 112 quarterback rating. Aaron Rodgers, 70.7% completion percentage, best in the league, little under 4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns, highest in the league, 5 interceptions with a quarterback rating of 121. Listen, this is the definition of not having help. This is the definition of doing it by yourself. Now, hence, he only won 4 games doing it by himself, but I want you to tell me a time in history where a quarterback put up these type of stats and they didn't make the playoffs. I could even argue that they should have been in the AFC Championship, maybe even the Super Bowl with your quarterback performing on that level. But I'm sorry, give me a time in history where that quarterback didn't at least make the playoffs. Yeah, Patrice, did he did make it. Okay, yeah, go ahead and send him in. Man, I'd have had to pour this child, 3 drinks already. Yes, it's that bad. Yeah, man, look. All right, thank you. Mr. Watson. Yes, sir. Yeah, come on in, man. Catch that door behind you. Yes, I am he, and he is me. It's nice to meet you, man. Before you sit 3 drinks, I advise you to get 2 down before I even get to what's wrong with this team, because you're going to need them. Let me start by saying I commend you for your performance this season. You had every opportunity to blame anybody but yourself if you had a bad season. Running backs, offensive line, receivers, offensive coordinator, head coach, you didn't blame anybody. They stripped you of the best wide receiver in football, Nuke. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins, there you go. They stripped you of DeAndre Hopkins. You got a bag of chips for him, and they didn't even let you eat the chips. So thank you for not making excuses and just getting better. This was by far your best statistical season. Let me see your paperwork, man. Okay, almost 5,000 yards passing, 4,800 yards. You led the league. Only one receiver to go over 1,000 yards, and he barely made that. Hell, Jameis Winston had 2 last season. And they both made the Pro Bowl, by the way. Only one receiving option to play all 16 games, and the rest of them played about 12 or fewer. Okay, so you mean to tell me the rest of those guys missed a quarter of the season? Let me see what y'all did on the ground, man. Let's see. Y'all were you were second on your team in rushing with 444 yards. Shout out Jay-Z, hell of an album, but that is ridiculous. You didn't even have 500 yards, and you were second leading rusher on your team. Leading rusher had 700 yards. What you were supposed to do with that? I know. It's a rhetorical question. I'm just saying you did what you were supposed to be doing. What did they expect you to do? Okay, you got me. All right. Let me see what the defense did, man. Only 3 interceptions. They was 32nd in the league for turnovers. Only had 3 interceptions. You were going the length of the field, man. You averaged 24 points per game. That let me know, though. You weren't getting turnovers. You weren't relying on that. So again, yeah, you was going the length of the field. 24 points per game. That's damn sure better than middle of the pack. I think Buffalo, before that final game where they put up 56, I think they averaged like 27, maybe 28 points per game. So y'all were right there behind them. I'd be damned. The defense gave up 30 points a game. Now what? They received paychecks, and you can verify. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to get on the phone with your agent, because you are owed millions. You are owed at least half of what the defense collectively made this season. No, it does not work like that. Yes, it will this season. Okay, all right, there you go. Make sure you call him. Write that down. Let's see, Bill O'Brien. Nah, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Bill O'Brien was your head coach, and they thought it was a good idea to replace him with Romeo Crennel. They thought that was going to start the new regime. I know, man. Listen, you're going to have to fight back them tears because I don't do well with emotion. Yeah, there you go. Get you another drink. Take your shot if you have to. I don't do well with emotion, but we're going to do everything we can to get you up out of there. I know the no trade clause in the contract and everything. You're going to be gone. Don't worry about it. Once again, man, before I let you go, I'm going to tell you, take 2 or 3 of them bottles off that shelf. Just don't pull the trigger when you get home. That's all I ask. I want to commend you because I have watched other quarterbacks look god awful when it mattered most. And the excuse for them is, oh, well, they need a number 1 receiver. They need an elite or primary receiver. Their offensive coordinator became predictable. The offensive line ain't what it used to be. Oh, well, the running backs couldn't stay healthy. You used absolutely no excuse. They use those excuses for those quarterbacks that have MVPs already. But I appreciate you for coming through. I look forward to hearing from you again. We'll revisit this with your new team. Good luck in the 2021. Yes, sir. All right. Listen, man, at this point, I don't care where you have him as long as he's in your top 5. If you're asking yourself, does one season get you to be a top 5? Not technically, but when you are lacking in so many areas on offense and you look this good for your team to be 4-12, again, I ask you, how is it that he played like this and didn't make the playoffs? It doesn't even make sense to me how they didn't at least go 8-8. Again, Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions last season, and the team went 7-9. Now, granted, he threw 5,000 yards and 33 touchdowns, with 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns on 70% completion. That should be good enough to at least get you 7 wins, similar to Jameis Winston. On 7 interceptions? Okay, look, so check this out. If he's not in your top 5, if you're asking yourself, well, who would I move out? I don't care. Don't give a damn. He needs to be there. I don't care if you take out your favorite quarterback for him to be in your top 5. He's now in your top 5. So if you don't have him there yet, you have to make it make sense. How does a man perform this way? How does he do this? Not make the playoffs and he's... All right. Are you drunk?